I am Nelson Mandela, and the stories of those I fought for as a lawyer in Johannesburg are etched into my soul. They are not mere legal cases, but searing reminders of apartheid's human tollface, is of injustice that ignited my resolve to dismantle a system rooted in cruelty. Step with me into those courtrooms where the air hung heavy with the scent of polished wood and stale coffee, and the weight of oppression pressed down like a storm cloud. These are the tales of a young mother from Sophiatown and a band of fearless workers, their suffering and courage, the heartbeat of my fight for freedom. Our days began early, with the city stirring around us as we entered that small office. The room was simply a worn desk piled with legal documents, a typewriter that clicked and clacked under our fingers, and shelves sagging with books that held the promise of justice. Clients arrived steadily, their footsteps echoing with urgency. They were laborers, mothers, teachers, ordinary people caught in apartheid's web. We took on cases that reflected the daily struggles of black South Africans, a man jailed for forgetting his passbook, a family displaced by the Group Areas Act, a worker dismissed for daring to demand fair pay. Each file was a story of resilience, each courtroom a stage for defiance. I can still see their face lined with worry yet lit with hope. One woman, a domestic worker, came to us after her employer accused her of theft, a false charge meant to silence her complaints about unpaid wages. We stood by her side in court, facing a magistrate who barely glanced at our evidence. The odds were steep, the losses frequent, but even in defeat, we offered something precious, a voice. Oliver and I worked tirelessly, often late into the night, our debates over strategy mingling with the distant sounds of Johannesburg's restless streets. The challenges were immense. The legal system was a tool of oppression, its rules twisted to uphold apartheid. We faced hostility not just from courts, but from the building itself, white tenants who sneered as we passed, landlords who threatened eviction. Our phones buzzed with static, a sign of police surveillance, and some clients whispered their stories, fearing retribution. Yet the office was alive with purpose. After hours, it became a meeting place for ANC activists, a space where we planned and dreamed, our resolve hardening with every setback. Running Mandela and Tambo was a journey into the depths of injustice, and into my own heart. Every client's tale cut deeper into my understanding of our struggle. I saw fathers humiliated by past laws, their dignity stripped by a system that saw them as less than human. I heard mothers plead for homes lost to forced removals, their tears a quiet storm. These experiences fueled my anger, but also my hope. I began to see the law not just as a battlefield, but as a weapon we could wield to expose apartheid's cruelty and rally our people. There were moments of light amid the darkness. A young man, arrested during a protest, grinned as we secured his release, his spirit unbroken. "They can't stop us," he told me, and I believed him. His fire mirrored my own, a flame kindled by the courage of those we served. Oliver was my steady companion in this fight, highs, calm, resolve, a counterpoint to my impatience. Together we faced the storms, sharing quiet victories and bitter losses, our friendship a rock in shifting sands. I carried fears, too, of failure, of the violence lurking in apartheid's shadow. But greater than fear was the hope that grew within me, a vision of a South Africa where equality was not a dream but a reality. The law firm was my training ground, teaching me that justice is a long road, paved with persistence and sacrifice. Johannesburg in 1952 was a paradox, a hub of wealth and progress for some, a prison for others. Apartheid's laws were tightening. The Population Registration Act sorted lives by race, the Bantu Education Act shackled black minds, and the pass laws turned every step into a crime. Sophiatown, with its jazz and defiance, faced annihilation as the government plotted its removal. Against this, the ANC Defiance campaign rose, a wave of resistance I helped lead. Our office became a lifeline for those arrested, a symbol of the fight we waged. The city buzzed with tension, protests clashing with police batons, voices shouting for freedom. Mandela and Tambo stood firm, a small but vital outpost in that war. We were not just lawyers, but witness, is to a people's awakening, our work a thread in the tapestry of liberation. Our law firm was a spark in Johannesburg's darkness, a sign that black South Africans could claim their place in a world that denied them. It inspired other youth who saw in us a path to professions long barred, communities who found strength in our stand. For me, it was a foundation, shaping the leader I would become. Years later, in prison, I drew on those days, lessons of unity, the power of hope. That modest office, with its creaking floors and defiant spirit, was more than a building. It was a promise that even in the harshest times we could light the way forward together.